Hello, my game name is Sipping Cider, and today I'm gonna do a little deck tech on Reno Druid. So this is the deck I'm going to try to climb to Legend with, and gonna try recording all my games and putting them on YouTube, and in case anyone's interested in gameplay for this deck. So it has the usual suspects of Reno Jackson, Elise, Zephyrus, which you put into pretty much any singleton deck. It does not have Alex Straza. I think she's too slow. We don't have dragon synergies, and we have plenty of late game anyways in this deck. No Kazakis because we are not a mage, priest, or warlock. Instead, we are Druid, and as Druid we get a lot of good defensive tools to hold off aggro with Spellstone, Jasper Spellstone, and Armor, like Ferocious Howl, Branching Paths, and Malfurion. We also have great choose one cards like Wrath, which we can cycle if we're against a slow deck to draw to our powerful late game cards, or against aggro. 2 mana deal 3 is pretty good. Living Roots, just good against aggro. Druid of the Swarm, it can be a 1/5 taunt, which is great for 2 mana, or a 1/2 poisonous if we're against a slower deck. It can be like a slow removal. Or fast if we play it before they play their big creatures. Rising Winds, better when you use it to draw, but if you need to put something on the board, it can give you a 3/2, which it's not the worst thing ever, but it's not great. It's mostly for its draw. And Branching Paths, of course, you draw or you gain 12. Such a great card. Or give your board +1 attack. It can be used to find lethal. And then to take advantage of these choose one cards, we have Keeper's Deladris and Fendril, my favorites, a Druid. These guys are decent enough to play on their own. 4 mana 3/5 isn't the worst. 2 mana 2/3 is good. And whenever you happen to get some of your choose one cards, choose one spells for Keeper's Deladris, or any choose one card for Fendril, including Malfurion, we get extra value or tempo, or both. Oasis Surger, just a great card. It's another choose one card. 5 mana for 2/3/3's Rush is premium. Think of Faceless Corruptor, 5 mana 4/4 that turns another minion into a copy of it with Rush. This is just, in a way, it's just 1/1 stat less, because the Corruptor at best is turning a 1/1 usually into a 4/4, so it's kind of like a 4/4 and 3/3 worth of value, or this is 2 3/3s. But it also has the option of becoming a 5/5 when a 5/5 happens to be better. And then whenever we pair it with Fendril, it's just insane. It's 2 5/5s with Rush for 5. So it's just a good card. We are a control deck, and so we have our board wipe and poison seeds and hard removal in mulch. Neither of these are the best control tools, but it's what Druid has, so we'll use them. Alright, let's see. We got Tar Creeper, it's just a good anti-aggro card. And we got a couple different packages. We'll do the Death Rattle package first. So Enzoth, he's a great late game finisher. I actually think more decks in Wild control decks should be running this as a finisher. He's just so good, especially with Kartut Defender. Like, you could just run Kartut Defender and one other Death Rattle, and I would say Enzoth is worth putting in your deck. Is that good? So in our deck, we have Kartut Defender, Sludge Belcher, Archspore Mishfin, and this guy's actually surprised me at how good he is. You'd think putting a 10-cost card into your deck would be bad, but it turns out a 3 mana 3/4 with Taunt is pretty good, and the Prime that he puts in your deck is actually pretty decent. It's 18 worth of stats that are fast. You can make it Rush, you can make it Taunt. Well, 1/2 is Taunt, and the other half can be either. So it's actually pretty good. And we can make multiple copies with Enzoth, which you have to be careful of, because if you put too many in, you turn off the Reno effects. Our last death rattle is Plated Beetle. This is just a really good anti-aggro tool. And a small bonus, it also upgrades our spell stem. Let's see, what other package do we have? The duplicate package is what I'll call it. Alright, so Elise duplicates our hand. Zola can give us an extra copy of a creature, and Floop can be played as a copy of any creature we just played. So these three are kind of just extras. We can use them to copy a good card in a specific matchup, or we can use them to copy each other and just get infinite value. Namely with Elise. You know, if you have either Floop or Zola in your hand with Elise, you can use Elise to copy your hand, and then the other one to essentially copy Elise. And so any other cards in your hand, you kind of gain as extra cards in your hand through that exchange, but you end up with Elise plus the other card as well. So that's a way to get infinite value. Doesn't that sound great? Another theme to this deck is we have a lot of card draw. So Alkaloid Pain, Crystal Merchant, you can cycle Wrath, you can cycle Rising Winds, Howl cycles, Branching Paths can draw, and that's just because we have some really powerful cards that we want to draw in a lot of matchups. Whether it be Reno against aggro, or duplicate effects against control, that sort of stuff. We got Bran, we have some battle cries that we really like to trigger twice if we can, so he's a good addition to the deck. Spellbreaker, just solid. Mostly he was a 4-drop. I felt like I needed another 4-drop, and he's pretty good as a 4-drop. Our biggest weakness with this deck is decks that resurrect cards. So Q block, decks with Gul'dan in general, and Big Priest. We have no transform effects, only one board wipe outside of Zephyrus. So those decks can cause a lot of problems, and Spellbreaker helps a bit with those matchups. Against combo, we have Loatheb and we have Dirty Rat. Loatheb, with our duplicate effects, we can often make it so that our opponent can never cast a spell again, kind of like Shudderwock Shaman did. But we just get tons of Loathebs with Elise, with Floop, and with Bran Zola. It's great against Quest Mage. We can just wait till they complete the quest, and then if we have Bran Loatheb, we just make it so they can never play it. Against the new Mecha'thun Warlock that's been popping up lately, it does the same thing. Against Raza Priest, it can lower their damage potential quite a bit, although they can of course still do quite a bit with just creatures, but it helps. It helps. Dirty Rat, I don't like Dirty Rat as much as I like Loatheb, but it'll do when we don't draw Loatheb. We can pull out a lot of the minions for key combos. We don't have too much removal in our deck in case we pull out a big minion, which is why I don't like it as much. It's also bad against the Resurrect decks like Big Priest or a lot of Gul'dan decks. And we already have a rough matchup there, so that's why I don't like it as much, but he's pretty good as a backup Loatheb, is what I consider him. I think that about does it. Of course, we already went over that. Malfurion is just great. You can play him on your own, and he's just against aggro. He's kind of like 7 mana for 15 health. If you count the 2 1/5s that he spawns, he upgrades your hero power. You can always summon 2 1/2s poisonous against a slower matchup. Such a great Death Knight. So yeah, this is the list that we're going to try to climb the legend with.